Thanks everybody for joining us today, and we might have other people join as we move along into this. I know everybody's busy, so we're going to jump right into this demonstration. And thanks again for taking time out of your busy days to watch us here demonstrate BoltRail. What is BoltRail? BoltRail is a prefabricated tool, template tool that's designed to set up anchor bolts over formwork. So it's designed to eliminate all of the site work and guesswork associated with building templates on the construction site. This tool is essentially ready to use, and it sets up over many different types of formwork to hang your anchor bolts to match your anchor bolt base plate patterns. And I'm just going to show you guys how it comes, what you can expect when you receive the product, and how you set it up to use. So I've got one here that's disassembled. When you first receive BoltRail, you'll receive a rail that's already installed. It has a sliding component to it. I'm just going to bring this up a little bit closer to the camera so you guys can see it. So there's a pier here that slides along the rail. And you get a box full of parts with every one, which consists of two what we call bolt holders, which simply snap into the rail. The bolt holders come with sleeves to accommodate different bolt sizes. So you've got two that are 3/4 inch, two that are 1 inch, and the 3/4 inch ones just slip into the 1 inch ones like this. I'll just show you guys a close-up of that and what they look like. And these go into the bolt holders. And then there's two support elements that also go into the rails. And I'll just bring this up. We put typically one of them into that sliding pier, and they just snap into place. And then we put another one into one of the ends. It doesn't matter which end, and they go in like that. So that's what it takes to prepare this template tool for use. Just a quick close-up of those bolt holders. So they do have these sleeves. They start at 3/4 inch. And by taking out the sleeves, I can change the size of the hole from 3/4 inch to 1 inch to 1 1/4 inch. So we can do 3 bolt sizes in the system without picking up a tool. It's adjustable on the fly. So there you have one assembled bolt rail. In use, bolt rail has one support that slides along the rail. So we make this product in 4 different lengths. Standard lengths comes in 26 inch, 33 inch, 45 inch, and 55 inch. And when we talk about those lengths, that's the maximum clamping width of the bolt rail. So from the inside to the inside of the support, this is a 26 inch model. This bolt rail will span across formwork 26 inches wider or less. And we can reduce the clamping width just by sliding this support pier. I'm trying to show you guys here without my shirt in the background. So we can adjust the clamping width of the tool. The supports on the bolt rail, they rotate. So we've got this incredible adjustability of moving in and out, but also rotation of the support piers. The advantage to that is this. If you guys can see this, when you're using bolt rail, you can put it right on top of your forms, but those seats are designed to actually sit on these piers, and that gives us an inch of clearance under this tool to finish the concrete. The adjustability of the telescoping end and the swivel supports means that I can get this tool into any orientation on any form, regardless of the geometry of the form. So it's extremely versatile in placement. So let's say that your guys on site, they might not have built this frame around the sonotube or a plywood form. Maybe it's out of square, or perhaps this is going to be sitting underneath a slab in a warehouse, and it doesn't matter if because it's not going to be seen, perhaps this was not built square, or maybe it wasn't aligned with the grid lines of the building. That does not matter with bolt rail. This tool will go exactly where it needs to go. It has infinite flexibility and adjustability to get those bolts in the right location. So then the question becomes, how do we place this tool in the right location? So let's talk about that a little bit here. I'm going to come back up to the camera here. On the ends of the tool, on the supports, you can see we've got some holes there to accept screws. And then we have a sight window here, this diamond-shaped window. All we need to do is, working off of our drawings, if we find the center of where the anchor bolts have to go. Typically, the drawings will show the center of the column. And then working off, I don't know if you guys can see these lines, but we've just marked where the center line of the anchor bolts would go. Now we can find this mark through surveying tools. We can use it with, you might use a laser to find it. We might do a string line. There's a number of different ways that you can locate these points. But once we find that center line where the bolts pass through the form, we mark it on both sides of the form. And then from those marks, we move across to where the anchor bolts would fall through. And all I do when I've got those marks is I just use a little square to bring that mark down the side of the form, and I mark it. So if you look around my form, I've just marked on the side of the form where the center of the bolts would fall. So that's a pretty easy thing to do, and there's a number of different ways to do it. Once I have those marks on my form as to where the bolts are going to go through, I can either eyeball through the top my survey mark, or I can look through the side and find that pencil mark in that diamond-shaped sight window. Once I've done that on two sides, well, let's just do one side first. Once I've spotted my survey mark in my sight window, I just put a couple of screws through the piers here where the holes are. Now, that locks one end of the bolt rail in place. And the neat thing is, now I've got, with the one end locked in place, I've got this tremendous ability to get this other side where it needs to go. So I've got this incredible versatility. If I repeat that process on the second side by simply finding my survey mark in my sight window and putting a couple of screws through that support, I've now lined up the first rail in the correct location. So how do you get the second one in place? Well, we can repeat the process, find the survey marks, mark it, find them in our sight windows, and then just repeat the process and put some screws in. But we have a couple of other options here. If we've only surveyed one of the lines, I can simply get the second rail in position just by measuring the bolt spacing edge to edge of the bolt rail. So if I'm setting an 8-inch bolt pattern, I can set it at 8 inches apart, put a couple of screws, set the other side 8 inches apart, edge to edge, same as bolt spacing, put a couple of screws, and then get the second rail in position that way. That whole process to get the two rails in position takes about 2 minutes if you're working out in the field. But I've got another option here. So if I'm doing a job that's very repetitive, I've got, let's say I'm doing a big warehouse, I'm doing a bunch of columns in the interior of the warehouse, they all have the same base plate. I'm going to repeat a bolt pattern that's the same, let's say, 50, 100, 200 times. I have a different option here that's available to me. And one of the things I can do is I can build what we call a master template. So this is just the bolt pattern that I'm going to be setting dozens and dozens of times over and over again with the center point marked. Now, because I've fixed this first rail in position and it's not moving anymore in one of the axes, what I can do now, I've got a few options. I can fish these through from underneath, but I can also just put them, because these are J-bolts, I can simply just hang them off my bolt holders and then drop them in from the top. Now this is an advantage if you're dealing with a large pour that's got lots of rebar in the way. Instead of trying to snake the anchor bolts through a top mat of rebar, coming in underneath your traditional belt template and trying to get it in place, if you're setting J-bolts, the ability to just drop your anchor bolts in from the top is a huge, huge advantage. So I'm just going to put a bolt on here and then drop that in as well. You can see how quickly this is coming together. And again, I can come in from underneath as well. Depending on if sometimes the anchor bolts have nuts on the bottom with plates instead of bent legs. But now what I've got is one rail installed, the rest are left loose. So my bolt holders are loose and my second rail is loose. At this point, I can take my my master template that I've built that's got my repetitive bolt pattern, and I can slip this over top of all of my bolts, just like that. And I can set everything all at once now with this master template. And because that first rail has been fixed in place and it can't move in this axis, now all I have to worry about is positioning all 4 bolts in the right location along the length of the bolt rail. And I can work off of that center point with my surveyor at the ready. So I can set all 4 of these in location, pop this off, fix everything in place with some screws, and I'm ready to go. And I'll just kind of do that here real quick. And a few more here to hold the bolt holders in place. And we're good to go. Now you can see, I mean, the advantages of this tool are that there's no construction on site. I'm not handling raw materials. That one looks like I broke the tip off of it at some point. There we go. So I'm not measuring, I'm not cutting, I'm not assembling anything. There's no wasted movements with BoltRail. It's align the tool, set it in place, align the tool, set it in place. Really fast and easy to use. Saves a huge amount on labor. Typically, 4 anchor bolt setup like this takes under 5 minutes in the field. I got to just talk quickly here about the screws that I'm using. Some of you guys might be interested in that. These are duplex head screws, and they've got a 3/8 inch tall, 1/4 inch hex head on them, and I'm just putting them in and out using a socket. And it comes in a couple of different lengths here. We've got, we use the shorter ones here with BoltRail, but it comes in longer lengths as well. So any kind of temporary construction, formwork, things like that, these screws work well. You can put them in and out all day long. Really easy to use. Avoids that repetitive, injuries in wrists and elbows that you might get with a hammer if you're using form nails. So they're kind of meant to replace form screws. They just happen to work really well with our product. So yeah, anyways, I guess the good news is that it looks like we're going to be very shortly becoming the stocking Canadian distributor for these duplex screws. So if you need the screws as well as the BoltRail, we're going to be able to supply that for you guys as well. So now, one of the neat things about this product is that, sometimes, let's say very rarely mistakes get made on the construction site, right? So if I've built a template from scratch and I'm about to pour the concrete, I'm doing quality control checks and I discover that something is out, I'm kind of stuck with that template, or I may have to cancel my pour, or I'm now mentally preparing that I'm going to have to maybe chip out concrete, maybe bend anchor bolts, maybe flame cut base plates. I'm going to lose time and I'm going to lose money, and it's going to add work, and maybe there's some schedule loss. The advantage to this system is that if I've made a mistake in my measurements and my layout, it only takes a couple of minutes to undo these screws, shift the bolt rail around, and fix the mistake. So we've just kind of looked at how am I doing for time? I'm getting a little bit low on time, so I'm going to just try and wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. But we've just shown you guys sort of one way to use this, and it's just over sort of a sonotube installation. BoltRail also works on plywood forms. And then there's some additional ways that we can use this tool. You have the ability, and it's kind of displayed here. I don't know how well you guys can see it on the screen. I'm just going to take the clutter away so it's maybe a little bit easier to see. But BoltRail has the ability to be used in a few different ways. So one of the things I can do with this tool is I can take the swivel support out from one end, and I can put it in from the top. So now I've created a tool that's got a support on one end at the top and one at the bottom. So if I'm doing something where I'm pouring concrete up against an existing structure, and I've created formwork on one side, but on the other side I've got an existing structure, or I'm pouring a large slab where I've got anchor bolts around the perimeter, but I don't have formwork on two sides of the pour, I've only got a perimeter formwork. We have the ability to hang now one end of this tool from falsework and support it on the other end on our formwork. So we've got a kind of a demo display of that here. And we run into this situation from time to time. I still have all of the adjustability that I had before with placement, with the rotating supports and the telescoping ends. But so that's another way that BoltRail can be used. There is one other way that we see people using it, and it's this. So you can take the holders and put them in from the opposite side. And now you have a tool that you can hang from falsework. So if you're doing a large pad footing, or if you're doing a slab pour and you've got anchor bolts in the middle, you can put falsework across the slab and you can hang this tool from your falsework. And you can grab it from the outside edges of the falsework, or you can flip these guys around because they rotate, and you can grab it from the inside edges of the falsework. You still have all of that adjustability to get this in the right location just by following that guideline. You'll find the survey mark in your guideline, put some screws in, and you have the ability to adjust these bolt holders anywhere you need. If you're doing base plate patterns that have 6 bolts or 8 bolts in them, you can keep adding these bolt holders into the rail as needed for as many anchor bolts as you need to set on a single bolt rail line. So I think that covers the gist of the product. The advantages, of course, are it's extremely fast. It reduces labor and work. It's a reusable tool. The adjustability means that it will fit from pile cap to pile cap, from job to job, as there's differences in bolt pattern placement or pile size dimensions. This tool, because it's adjustable, it can be reused multiple times. People that are using the product are getting at least 4 to 6 reuses out of it, and sometimes more depending on how clean they're using it. And so your mileage may vary. Some of the guys who are really using it carefully with form release and stuff are getting quite a bit of mileage out of these. And so great for quality control. Even on a small project, what we're seeing is days of schedule gain, thousands and thousands of dollars saved in costs, which equate to increased margins. But really, at the end of the day, this is a cheap insurance to keep the project on track. So if you want to maintain your schedule and you don't want schedule loss due to concrete delays, this tool really helps. So we've had a number of clients who've informed us that had it not been for this tool, that they would have been canceling concrete pours and had to reschedule. So it's been really great to see that. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. So we'll be open for some questions. So if anybody wants to text in any questions, I think we've got another 10 minutes or so to answer any questions that you may have. Yeah, just got to hit that Q&A button at the top of the screen and then send in your comments if you have any or questions. The product is being supplied through Nucor rebar fabrication in Alberta, and they have reach across the country. So if you're in Canada and you'd like to get some bolt rails, Nucor is the place to do it. They've shipped for us as far out as the Maritimes, and we're signing new distributors all the time. The product typically comes bundled in groups of 10 with all of the parts required to assemble it in that bundle of 10. Each bolt rail will come with 2 bolt holders, the necessary sleeves for a 3/4 inch, 1 inch, and 1 1/4 inch bolt, and the 2 swivel supports that you see here. So that's kind of what one unit of bolt rail will look like. And they retail, the shortest one, the 26 inches, come in around the $79 mark. And yeah, Andy, I'll get to your question in a second. So They retail around 70. They start at $79 for the shortest one at 26 inches, and they go all the way up to $97 for the longest one at 55 inches. And so they're incrementally priced in that range. So Andy, for what you're doing, 6 foot wide footings, what we typically do is we just build a simple 2x4 frame that goes across your pour. And then we will put the bolt rails. So you probably just need the 26 inches for what you're doing. And we simply place the bolt rails on the 2x6 frame. So basically you're hanging falsework off of your forms. And the neat thing is that you don't have to take the time to make that falsework square or parallel or in the right location, because the bolt rail has the adjustability in placement that, with these swiveling supports and everything, that you can get this in exactly the correct orientation and still catch your falsework that's over top of your pour. Now, you could use it on top of the falsework, but if your falsework is starting to get high, you can also flip this around, pull these out, put them in from this side, and then hang this off of your falsework. So you just make the falsework high enough that when you hang this, that you got a little bit of clearance under here that you can get in there and finish the top of the concrete. So we've done a number of jobs like that, and we can provide virtual training if you guys have specific jobs or questions or challenges pertaining to anchor bolt setting. We can just get on a Teams call or a Zoom call and give you a very specific tailored demonstration of the product. So, but it works great for that sort of stuff. I can send you some photos from site use where that kind of use was done. Well, maybe I can just even show you here. So, got a poster here, but you can see here a use where we've got falsework going across a big pour, and the bolt rails are hung off of that falsework to carry the anchor bolts. So that's one way that you can use it for sure. Yeah, so if there are any other questions, just send them in. Otherwise, we'll wrap this up here pretty quick.
Using demos on site.
Yeah, so if you guys are, depending on where you are, we do come to site to give training. We do virtual training sessions as well. We can take a look at foundation drawings and help you figure out what kind of an order you need to make to achieve your job. We do have some custom capabilities as well. So we can make this product in really any length that you need. So we've done some that are custom, or if you have a job that's, where you're doing a lot of pile caps that are all the same size, or you're doing like a concrete wall that's a specific width and you need to put anchor bolts in it, we can make this shorter or longer custom sizes. We just ask that for a pallet quantity order if we're doing a lot of custom work. So starting at 150 units of bolt rail.
Cages too.
Sorry, excuse me?
Even bolt cages.
Yeah, so we have, if you guys go and check out our website, you'll see some of the projects we've worked on. We've done some custom work as well, where we're setting up anchor bolt cages that have really large anchor bolts, 2-inch plus size anchor bolts, anchor bolt cages that weigh thousands of pounds. So we have, engineering capabilities in-house to create custom solutions for really unusual, heavy industrial stuff. So we did a job in LA a couple of years ago where we were setting up 4,000 pound plus anchor bolt cages with a custom designed and fabricated system that was made out of steel and aluminum. And we got these guys from what used to take them 6 hours per pile cap. We got them down to 45 minutes per pile cap on this job using our system. So we've got a lot of capability to help you guys out. I think in the last 10 years, I think we've probably spent more time thinking about anchor bolts than just about anybody else in the world, I think. Andy, appreciate your time and thank you for joining us. Chad, the product is made in Edmonton, Alberta. It's a Canadian product made with Canadian lumber. The plastic components are injected here in Edmonton, which is where we're based out of. And then just outside of Edmonton, we have a manufacturing shop where the wood is cut and the product is assembled in. So it ships out of Nisku. So we're looking at a North American-made product. The plastic pellets come out of the United States, and then we inject them here, and then we've got this great relationship with the United States that's been around for decades, where lots of trade going back and forth. And so this is one of these products where we take the raw materials from Canada and the US, we make a value-added product right here in Edmonton. We're quite proud of that. Have I missed anything? I think we're pretty good. The tool is very versatile. It just saves a ton on labor. It reduces the requirement for skilled labor, though we do recommend skilled. Skilled labor is always the best, but if my 9-year-old can set anchor bolts with this tool. It's really easy to use. Great for quality control. It saves a ton of money in the long run. It just is going to keep your job on track. So, I'm sorry? Yeah, so we hear from clients that, when they're getting onto a job site now, they have to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork for safe work practices. And this really reduces everything related to that, because you're not working with saws anymore. You're not working with drills or anything. You've just got a cordless screw gun and a pocket full of form screws, and the product is ready to use. So that's it saves on a whole bunch of fronts. We're hearing some great feedback from the industry about how much time and money they're saving using this product. So, okay, I think that's it, right? We'll wrap it up there. If you guys have any questions, please do reach out to us. We've got a team here ready to help you. You can reach out to me at you can reach out through sales@boltrail.com, but you can also just go to our website and contact us through there as well. So, and we've got a great YouTube channel, and we're on Instagram as well. Great content on the YouTube channel. So if you guys go into YouTube and just search BoltRail, you'll see some great videos on there. So thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the upcoming weekend, and we hope to see you guys soon. Thanks.